A girl suddenly realizes something is wrong with the house she just rented at a low price. She feels like her every move is being watched, which makes her feel terrified. Mi-dai quickly calls her best friend, suspecting she's encountered a perverted landlord because strange things have been happening since she moved in. Every time she wants something, it mysteriously appears in her room. At first she just mentioned to her colleagues that she needed a mat and a steam iron, and that same day both items appeared in her home. Her neck felt uncomfortable, and the next day she received a massager. Even when her rice cooker broke, a new one was delivered to her door. Initially she thought the landlord was kind until the mask appeared at home, which made her realize something was wrong. Xiaomi doesn't know that the strange events happening to Mi-dai are all due to her own actions. As she carefully analyzes the situation, she suspects the landlord has been spying on Mi-dai and must have some secret she's not supposed to know. She looks at the door that Mi-dai isn't allowed to open, but Mi-dai denies her suspicion because she only mentioned the mask issue to the hospital and Qintao, and Xiaomi immediately assumes that Qintao is doing this because he likes Mi-dai and is trying to help her with her problems. But Mi-dai immediately denies her guess because everyone knows Qintao likes Su Yan-shan. However, Xiaomi believes they are in the same department and might have developed feelings over time, and that Qintao helped his friend rent the house for Mi-dai. He never reveals the landlord's information, so Mi-dai plans to talk to Qintao the next day. But as soon as she gets to work, Qintao brings her breakfast. This confuses Mi-dai, so she bluntly asks Qintao if he has feelings for her and even says she won't consider dating for a few years. This almost burns out Qintao's CPU during lunch. Mi-dai sees Qintao still showing affection towards Su Yan-shan, while Qintao clearly states he considers himself a brother to Mi-dai. After knowing it's not Qintao, Mi-dai becomes more worried about the house and asks Xiaomi to stay with her for a few days. Xiaomi thinks this doesn't solve the problem and suggests getting Xu Wenba to help investigate. So the one and only wooden man Xu Wenba, the whole play, makes a dazzling entrance and solves the problem in one sentence. It turns out the person who likes Mi-dai is Xing Qiliai. A few days ago he learned from Xiaomi that Mi-dai had lent the money for renting the house to a patient, leaving herself without a place to live. She didn't want to accept direct help from her friend, so he had to sleep in the hospital's duty room. The big boss Xing couldn't let his wife suffer, so he found Qintao from the same department and bought him with a month's meal allowance to rent his house to Mi-dai under his friend's name. The two then played a game of double agents. Every time Mi-dai needs something, Xing Qiliai finds out immediately and acts like a girl who turns into a snail. But today, when he heard from Qintao that Mi-dai didn't want to date, he got really angry, but he still had to take care of his wife. When he heard Qintao say there was an electrical problem with the house, Mi-dai was afraid after her night shift and he ran home right away. However, he didn't know his disguise had already been uncovered by Xu Wenba. This was a trap set by Mi-dai, and as soon as he entered the house, he was caught. But he wasn't at all nervous and gave Mi-dai a great performance because he had already conspired with Qintao beforehand and would deny everything even if discovered. These two really make me laugh. One likes the other so openly, yet tries to hide when discovered more absurdly. Mi-dai is still naive enough to be fooled by them. Xiaomi immediately realized the two were working together to trick Mi-dai. Mi-dai was afraid she was overreacting, but Xiaomi teased her. Mi-dai didn't know that Xing Qiliai was the special forces officer who saved her 2 years ago and also the person Xiaomi had always been thinking about. Download the Daily Short app to watch full episodes for free.